Hello, greetings and welcome back to another session of the course titled Academic Speaking and Presentation Skills. In today's session, we are going to learn about a new topic, that is understanding phonemes in English. I know phoneme, you might think that this is an alien word, but however, bear the patience, you are to discover something interesting. What we are going to cover in today's topic is list of English speech sounds. We are going to learn about what phonemes are. We'll also list phonemes in English language. We'll learn how to identify phonemes while somebody is speaking. We'll also know that there are variety of phonemic pronunciation, right? And at the end of the session, hoping to give you a well-rounded summary of whatever we would have covered today. Before learning something new, let's debunk the basic myth that is there about English. This might want you to recall your nursery time. How many vowels exist in English language? I know you would say it's 5. How about considering the option 20? Second, again, how many consonants can be counted in English language? You would want to say 21, and I am going to give you the option of 24. Then, are written and oral symbols same in English language? The answer would be between yes or no. Right? And at the end, why is C? Now, this is a question of realization, right? Have you ever realized that C is pronounced differently? It is not pronounced as C, but it is either pronounced as saw or ka. C is pronounced as sa in sight. And in the word cut, right, it is pronounced as ka. So, there is a difference. Have you first realized the difference? And have you noticed why is it like that? To answer this, you are going to learn what phonemes are today, right? Yes, this is correct, and this is the correct answer, right? I am not saying this is wrong. I am neither saying this is wrong. How can there could be two different correct answers to one simple question? Over here, what is missing in the question is that how many vowels exist in English, written English, or maybe the oral one, right? Or maybe the phonetic ones. So phonetic is basically considering the phonology, studying human speech sounds, right? And when we study human speech sounds, language specifically, it is going to come out differently. So, in the book Joy of Phonetics and Accents, right, there is a wonderful statement that has a huge impact. We believe that words have power, right? And when we say words have power, they are getting this power from where? Power is energy. Power is, the ability to affect, right? And when we say that words have power, the words get power from the sounds that are there. And what Louise has said in the book, The Joy of Phonetics and Accent is, sounds has profound effect on all the senses. We have 5 senses, right? Hear, taste, touch, smell, right? All of this. So then sounds has a profound impact on these senses and thus can be both heard as well as felt, right? And to understand this power, where does it comes from? You need to go back to the very basic. When we speak of English language, you might know it as a foreign language, you might know it as a, second language, you might know it as, maybe the formal language of India, but however, or you might know it as, the lingua franca. But you need to understand that it's not just that. The language is divided into two different parts. One is how it is, identified through the written symbols, and how it is, identified when heard. So there are two different symbols. One is the phonetic script and other is the alphabetic script for each language. So now this is your answer to the questions asked earlier, right? What do you see on the screen? This is the whole chart of phonemic symbols that are there in English language. This is a phonetic chart, right? You have vowels and you have consonants. So it is divided into two parts, vowels and consonants. And this is very basic, would not try to explain you everything in here, but for your understanding how English has 20 vowels. So when we say vowels, vowels are divided into short, long, diphthongs, voiced and unvoiced, right? So you can consider diphthongs to be the combination of two different sounds. These are the diphthongs, and these are also called as pure vowels, right, which are categorized into short, long, voiced and unvoiced vowels. Now what is this? The symbol that you see over here, you might identify as I, but I with this two dot becomes a phonetic symbol. Every phonetic symbol has this, right, to identify. So however the symbol would be, if written with the alphabets, would always have this slash as a marker that this is the phonetic description, and the rest is alphabetic description. So whenever you find any alphabet and within these two lines, you need to understand that this is phonetic, right? You need to know that these are the 12 pure vowels, these are the 8 diphthongs. How they are pronounced, I am going to pronounce it quickly for you, right? First is, this is long E. Long E, such as pronouncing the word ship, right? Ship. And this is short E, pronouncing the word ship. So sheep and ship, right? There is a difference between two. Again, there is bed. This is A and this is O. A and O. Right? A over here is the example bed, right? And O over here is, it is not above, it is above. So therefore about something, and this is bed, right? So A and O. So both pronouns differently. Now again I would say this is sound oo, right? Whatever you see over here, you might consider it similar to, resembling to omega, but this is inverse omega, right? So this particular symbol, if you see and it is between these two lines, you need to understand that it is the phonetic sound oo for the word good, right? When we say good, it is oo, and this is short oo, good. And when we say moon, moon, you will say that the oo is elongating. This is the long O. So there are short sounds, right, and there are long sounds. This is a long O, this is the short O. This is the long E, this is the short E. And we have known A, right, and this is O. Now this is also When we say how O, the same O over here is with two dots, elongated, and will, a basic hack over here is that if you want to identify this sound, it would near and always be before R. So it is some way or the other rolling. You're rolling your tongue. These are basically all these phonetic sounds, right? Be it vowels or consonants, they are placed on the human part of the tongue. So this is back of the tongue and this is the front of the tongue, right? And whenever we are, front of the tongue and this is the back of the tongue, these vowels are placed over here. We need to understand, right, that these are all the phonetic transcription. These are called as vowels, not just because someone, thought and there was a person named, vowel, and these are coined behind those. Vowels basically are termed as vowels because they, while you are pronouncing them, right, all of these vowels that you pronounce, right, they are while pronouncing, they are freely flowing, right, they are not obstructed by the parts of our mouth. That is, whenever we are producing a sound, which are the different organs that are occupied? Do you know that? Right, it is larynx, the vocal cords, which are vibrating. What are they vibrating? The air, when it passes through this vocal cords, it will vibrate these vocal cords, and those vibrations would come out as frequencies. But these frequencies should come out at the same, right, because vibration depends, right, and it is depending basically on your oral organs, which is the tongue, the teeth ridge, the soft palate, hard palate, right, uvula. So therefore these are the different parts of the organs that you need to consider, right, going from the back of the tongue, right, to the front tip of the tongue, to the teeth ridge. Teeth ridge is, you try, right, moving your tongue around the mouth, right, touch the teeth at the very beginning, T, right, and then move a little back, little, very close to the teeth ridge, that would be the teeth ridge, that is the hard palate, right, and then you take your tongue from the teeth towards the back, right, you would find something which is very soft. You will have to try this. That is why we said that this is science, right, everything is involved. The body organs that are responsible for producing sound. You will never be able to produce sound p without opening your, it's just puff of the air that is coming out, right, plosive, p, b, right. Again, whenever it is sound, is a nasal sound. Without the use of the nostrils, you will not be able to, blocking the nostrils, you will not be able to produce this sound. So again, each of these sounds are basically termed, right, vowels or consonants based on whether they are freely flowing, not obstructed. All of these vowels are not obstructed, so therefore they are placed on the different parts of the tongue. Right, when it comes to this, it will occupy, consonants will occupy the other parts of your, other oral parts. So therefore, first is p, b, t, d. This that you find, right, is ch, right, identified as ch. This is identified as j, right, it is jam. The word jam, right, the j sound that comes in the very initial is that. This is ch, this is k, this is g, right, f, v. This particular symbol that you find is th. This is the, right, this is s, z, right, this is sh, this is s, and this is sh, s, sh, right, this is z, and this is zh, right, z and zh, that is zebra, right, zebra and television. So z is different over here, zebra z and television, right, so z and zh. Though over here you have ma, na, this is ing sound, which I was saying, right, nasal sound, ma, na, Then we have y over here. This looks j, but this is actually y. This is l, r, this is again w. This is w for win, and this is w for van, right? So whenever your lips are rounded while speaking w, it is w. Whenever your lips are flat, right, while speaking w, it is v. So this is how. So this is actually not v, but however phonetic, a symbol for it, representing it. This is h, complete semi-vowel. So you need to understand this, right? H is, unvoiced and therefore identified to be one of the semi-vowels. These are the phonetic symbols, right? This is a for apple, a for actings, a comes in cat, comes in mat, right? This is also a is very short, right? So it is cut, money, right? So it is just helping the consonant to move out of the what do you say, oral organs. Then we'll say that this is again a sound, a, right? Ka, bath, right? Then safari mein it's sa, a, and fari, fa. So again it is a in two different types, right? Safari. Then this is also o, and this is also o. This is short o, this is long o. O such as not. This is door, right? Not, walk. Over here it is what, and walk, right? So o sound that comes is over here. It's not o. O is basically Hindi or Gujarati, but so it would not be orange, it would be orange, right? So this is how English works on different symbols. In total, we have such 44 symbols, right? And these 44 symbols are basically the phonetic transcription divided into, now we have known that there are 20 vowel sounds and there are how many? 24 consonant sounds, right? And this also can be divided into 12, that is pure vowels, and 8, which is diphthongs. What are diphthongs? These are combination of two. Now you know this is short e and this is identified as o. So this is ear, right? This is a sound and this is e. So it would be a, right? Such as train, ain, right? A, and this is e. Sorry, e-o and ae, right? This is u, u sound u, and this is a, right? So u, a together would be u. This, let's try. This is o and this is e. So together it would be oi, right? Again, another one. This is a and this is u, such as o, right? So ear is basically the here, E-A-R, or it would be here, right here, this position, right? It would be career, ear, right? Then over here, it is oo, is your, right? Your. So oo comes over there. It's not sure, it is sure, right? So sure is an example over here. It is not tourist, it is tourist, right? Oo. So there has to be a sound lingering to it. Then boy, oi, boy, koi, oil, whatever you want to use, it would be oi. Here it is au would be coat, right? Out, coat, right? Then it is note, notebook. So no, right? That is how it works. Ear, I, and au. These are all the phonetic transcription or phonetic symbols. Then what are phonemes? Comes our topic, right? When we are speaking about phonemes, phonemes are the building blocks of the sound system. Whenever we say sound system is basically sound of the language, and phonemes are the smallest part of it. So the smallest unit of any sound is called as phoneme, right? They are contrastive in nature and therefore distinguish meaning between the words. They are contrastive, they are not alike. Each sound would be very different to the other, and making them different from the other itself would bring meaning to a word that we are using. And then they are a powerful key holder to bringing change in the meaning of the word. So what are phonemes? Basically the building blocks, right? The what do we say? The concrete that is required to build a building, right? So any language that would be built, it would be built, or any speech that would be built based on phonemes that are the smallest sound, right? Every language have limited number of such phonemes, right? Sounds. English has how many? We have learnt in total it has 44. Hindi, again, it has 46. When we speak of Tamil, Tamil has 41 sounds, and when we speak of Kannada language, it has 47. Guess how much Gujarati has? Homework, right? Again, examples for these phonemes are over here. Out of 44, we have written certain few. P, B, D, T, D, G. Right? This is P, B, D, T, D and G. This again we learnt. What is this? Can you recall? This is pronounced as J. Right? This is V, S, M, N, L. How is this pronounced? This is pronounced as Y. And you are correct. This is W. So, these phonemes are highlighted over here in a different color. It is pot. OT remains the same, but what is changing? The sound. So, instead of P, if you put K, it would be cot. And the meaning of the same changes altogether, right? Pot is an object and cot is actually, kind of a hut where we can live. So, pot and cot. Over here, it is again highlighted. OT remains the same. You change it with the dot, right? So, dot would be nothing but just a small round symbol, language symbol. So, you need to understand that this phonemes, right, bring meaning to the whole word and it changes, and that's why, though very smallest but very crucial part of any language. By substituting sounds in different positions, these sounds that are there, right, if you substitute and put it instead of very starting, right, you put them into the middle, more phonemes can be identified like this. So, how many total we have? 44, and we can identify all of them. How? What is the trick? How do we identify phonemes? We identify phonemes through minimal pairs, right? So, over here you find it, the word pet, bet, det, get, jet, wet. You might find it as, they are rhyming, right? Et. So, over here, what is common is the et is common, but what is changing is phoneme. The sound et is common, but the phoneme is changing every time. These are called as minimal pairs, right? Set, met, net, let, yet, wet. We can identify them like that. So, practice time. Let's identify. As I said, it would change as per the position of the sound. First is cake. The word is cake. How would we transcribe this? This is written English C-A-K-E, right? Now, if we want to transcribe it, it would be K-A-K, right? This is how it is pronounced. So, now if we want phonemes, right, for cake, it would be, ek would remain the same, right? Ek, and ek. But what differs is, if you put w, it would be wake. If you put l, it would be lake. If you put t, it would be take. And if you put f sound, it would be fake. Can you try for the other word cage? Right? How do we write cage? Cage is basically K, A, and then we have J, right? Cage. If we want to write cage, it is written in this manner in phonetics. So, cage. When we want to use phoneme for it, it would be came, right? Because here it is at the end. See, here it comes as an initial sound. Over here it comes as a final sound, right? J. So, what remains the same is K is common. Now, came. So, it would be a different word altogether. It is now again K, so, right? It would be K, w. right? And this would be K, P. This is how we can identify, right? Just by changing one sound, that is M, S, W and P, right? We will be able to identify more phonemes as such. Also, you need to know what we learned by those examples is that there are different position of phonemes. So, in a particular word, where are they placed? Are they coming in the very beginning? Right? If they are coming in the very beginning, such as the word cat, right? It is K over here, right? And there would be certain words wherein it could come in a middle sound, right? So you need to identify everything. Over here, there is a nice example, variety of pronunciation of phonemes. If we are going to know that there are phonemic sounds, right? You need to identify those with their position. So let's take the alphabet R and the phoneme R. R, when it comes as an initial sound or the first sound, it would be pronounced as R only. When it is coming as a middle sound, right? It would be pronounced as R, R, right? Run would be R, right? Run is very long, right? Over here, it would just roll again. Correct, right? Run, correct. So correct is the middle sound R, right? Over here, it is last and the final sound. And there is a rule in English, right? Especially when we are talking about registered BR, right? That is the British English. You need to understand that it is whenever R is coming as the final sound, you will not pronounce it. So therefore, you might have seen the native speakers to be saying it as ka, right? Run, correct, and it's a ka. When we say ka, they are not pronouncing r at the end of it, right? That's the rule. So based on their position, initial, middle or final, their pronunciations might vary. Let's take another example of p, t, k, right? When we speak pit, right? Pit is first. Again, it is the first initial sound. So pit is aspirated. Whenever these are coming as the first sound, p, t and k, all the three of them have common characteristic of being aspirated. What is aspirated? It comes out with a puff of air. So try putting your hand, right hand, take your right hand, put it in front of your mouth and try speaking it. Let me just show you over here how can it be done, right? What are aspirated sounds and what are unaspirated sound. So when we speak of aspirated sound, you need to understand that aspirated sound can be checked like this. By putting your hand in front of the mouth, try speaking p, and then try speaking p, right? Whenever you say p, it is the puff of air that you will feel in front of your hand, right? P, t, k. When you say k, it won't be there. When you say t, it won't be there. When you say what? P, it won't be there. It would be very slight. But you put your hand there and you try p, t and k. So that is aspirated and unaspirated sounds, right? You need to understand that. There are various other varieties that you will be able to know, right? But in p, t and k, commonly it is aspirated. So when it is pit written over here would be pronounced as pit. Over here it wouldn't be spit, it would be spit, right? So pit and spit. This is top of the table and this is stop, right? It cannot be stop. It cannot be. Why? Because it is the second middle sound. Over here also it is the second, the middle sound. Over here also it is the middle sound. So you need to know if it is initial sound, right? Like cat, it would be not cat, but it would be cat, right? Top of the table, it is cat. And over here, you need to understand that this is middle sound, so it won't be aspirated. This is how the variety depends. So the very first question asked, right, that when it is city, it is pronounced as what? Sir. And when it is cut, the same C is pronounced as ko. What would be the correct answer to this? Correct answer to this is that yes, these are the written symbols which can vary by phonology. So the oral symbols would vary, and therefore the rule for the oral symbol is C when pronounced with A, O or U would be K, right? But C when pronounced, or the preceding sound would be a vowel E or O would be I or E, would be so. So that is how you pronounce city. It is coming with I, so it would be so. But when it is with you, it would be pronounced as ko. Hoping that this made sense. I know it's complicated, wouldn't get it for the very first time, but it is not that difficult, right? So therefore, let's consider this the foundation, the very fundamental required in any speech or speaking that you want to make it very powerful. Phonemes play a very important role when to aspirate the sound, when not to aspirate the sounds, right? There are allophonic variants, whatever we have seen, the phonemes when they are pronounced differently is basically depending on their situation where they are placed, and also the environment with which vowels they are proceeded and this and that. So therefore this is called as allophonic variants, right? Let's not go much into depth. For now, what you need to understand is that English works in different way when it is oral and when it is written, right? In oral, we have how many speech sounds? 44. And these speech sounds, the smallest unit of the speech sound would be phoneme. And phoneme is therefore a constructive unit of the sound system of a certain language. Hindi, English, Gujarati, all these language will also have their phonemic sounds, right? So whatever the alphabets are would be represented only for the written language, and phonemic symbols would be very different. Then phonemes are crucial for distinguishing the meaning of a language, right? Therefore whenever it is written, that the single sound could change the whole meaning of the word. So therefore we have to be very careful while speaking, right? We don't even know, while we are acquiring language, we do not pay attention to so many details, but however it is there, it is scientific, and you need to understand that that's how language works. And the last but not the least point, that is they are realized differently depending on situation or position or the environment they are placed in. So this is what we have learned all about phonemes. Hope you have learned something new, something interesting, and I'm certain that you will go into the depths of this phonetics or learning phonology. Right, there are two wonderful people that I would like to quote, that is T. Bala Subramaniam, Jay Sethi, right? Both of them have done deep researches in English language, comparing it with the Indian language, and they have come up with good understanding of how can we command this language phonetically as well. So it's not just the writing that we are good in, but also the speech and the speaking, which comes close to the native ones. So hoping that this session would have helped you, and thank you so much for holding your patience throughout. Hope to see you in the next session again. Thank you.